Hello, amazing humans. How are you today? I am, it's late and I wanted to hop on and just share a quick little video. I always say quick little video and then it usually goes over, but that's okay. So I am going back to what I was reading with Joseph Murphy that I recorded in another video. I'll try to tag it. I think I loaded that here. I can't remember all the things I do. It's not important. So, what I want to talk to you about today is if you're feeling stuck or not having movement in getting what you want, and you've been doing your affirmations, your askfirmations, which back up for just a moment. I got an update. My book should be here Friday. I'm super excited. So, I'll be sharing that with you probably on Saturday. I'm hoping to have time some Friday or Saturday to read it. I'll be actually be out of town on Friday. Anyway, it's coming. The book will be here Friday. I will definitely have it read by the end of this weekend. So anyway, that's coming. Super excited. Okay, squirrels, coming back to talking about Joseph Murphy. And so I'm going to back up for just a minute and tell you a little story about myself. So let's see. It actually was April of this year where I finally honored my no. And that would be a whole nother video about what it means to honor your no. But I think a lot of people have this idea that when you're affirming, you're asking for something and the universe brings it to you, that you just kind of have to take it, like you don't have a choice. Like, I can't turn it down because the universe, it gave it to me. And so I can't like not do it now, right? So if you feel that way, I just want to let you know that that's bullshit. That's not true. You can change your mind and you can say no. When you say no to something that the universe brings you or something that you've manifested, when you say no, it's just letting them know, the universe, when I say them, that that's no longer part of your order. And that's totally okay. So again, I squirrel a lot, so just bear with me, but you can say no. So anyway, in April of this year, it had been coming for a long time and I kept ignoring it. There was very, like, it was just, there was a lot of layers to this whole process for me. And so as you stick around, I'll start, peeling that layer of the onion for you as part of my journey. And so when I honored my no, I literally, for the first 2 weeks of when the last day, so what I was doing was I actually was a law of attraction coach under a law of attraction program under another coach's business. And I trained for a year and then I was coaching for almost a year and a half this program. And something was missing. So I honored my no, and here we are today. Again, there's a lot more pieces in there, but I'll fill it in as you stick around and I share more of my story. So the last day that I coached my clients, I actually it was a Monday. So it was the week prior I'd coached my clients, and then that Monday would have been May 1st, I believe. And I literally just asked myself for 2 weeks this one question. What do I want to do right now? Like, what do I want to go do right now? What feels good to me to go do right now? Like, what's the next thing to do? And so I'll just give you a few examples. I think I shared another video where I was like, go take a nap. So I went and took a nap. But really what I did in those 2 weeks was I didn't have any direction. Like I mentally could not think of, what do I do now? If I were to try to sit and focus, like, okay, I walked away from something that I had spent 2.5 years on, I would have been in overwhelm. So I had to really get present with where I was in that moment because I didn't know the next right step. I didn't know the next right action. I had been affirming or manifesting or auto-shit-ism, law of attraction, law of assumption, all the things that I wanted. And those things were still coming. But then I was like, there was this big chunk or this big piece of like, what do I do now? And I literally couldn't think like long term. I couldn't think about, well, do I go get a job? Like I literally could not think in that way. I had to be really present with myself. And so that's why I suggest if you're stuck or you're not seeing something moving, getting you closer to what you want, Instead of doing all the things, get present and ask yourself that question, which brings me to Joseph Murphy, which I love how the things that I've been doing, my following and trusting my own intuition, and I've been doing the energy work and the affirming and all the things. So I do all the things that I'm going to share with you guys here. And so if there's something that, I try and I have an experience, I'll share that too. But what I'm sharing with you is that I literally for 2 weeks asked myself this question: what do I want to do now? And then I don't remember, last week I found a book that I didn't even know. Actually, I think I've read it before, but it's been a minute because I've read so many manifesting books or law of attraction or self-help and all the things. So anyway, I decided, well, let me reread this book to see if there's anything in there that, maybe makes a little bit more sense or resonates with me more today than it did when I first read it, because I couldn't remember even what was in it. And sometimes that happens. You read books and you're like, or so and so said this, you don't remember where the information came from. So anyway, when I was reading Joseph Murphy, I got to this section, and this is, I kid you not, this is what he says. When you ask yourself, what should I do now or next? You will be compelled, inspiration, to do whatever is necessary for the unfoldment of your desire, which is your idea, your wish, your want, your manifestation, whatever that is, whatever you're affirming for, right? And then he goes on to say that the law of the subconscious is compulsion, and then the law of life is action and reaction. So what we do is the automatic response to our inner movements of the mind, inner feeling, and conviction. So again, I think mind, feeling is the body, and then your conviction. So he also says that your subjective wisdom takes over and brings it to pass in its own way, which is usually a far better way than any method you could consciously come up with. So that brings me to the next thing. So do you make lists of things that you want to do? Or if you're not seeing movement or feeling stuck when you're trying to get what you want, do you make a list of all the things that you could do to make it happen? I used to do that, make a list of, what I thought, my conscious brain, what I thought I should do next. And I mean, I would have a page of like things I could check off. Well, let me go try this thing and see what happens here. Instead of coming back to the present, being in my body, breathing, doing some, like I always exhale first now, and then I would inhale and exhale until I felt centered. And then I would ask myself, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to go do right now in this moment? What's the next thing? What do I want to go do? And then I would either have a thought, or something else interesting that happened is that my body, I would think that I was going to go do something, but then my body would take me to a different area of my house and I would start doing something. And then all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, I thought I was going to go do this, but here I am doing this instead. And in those 2 weeks, I literally promoted, I wrote my Chakraology course in 20 minutes, and like I did the outline, and then I had all of the material, just a matter of me putting it all together, because I taught this before, but this was like, it was more detailed, and I included like the energy balls and all the things which you will find here on my YouTube channel if you're interested in working with your chakras. And so I wrote my course, and I did that May 1st, and it actually, you guys, oh my gosh, I have got to get my dates straight. So when I originally honored my no, like told them that I was no longer going to be a coach, in 20 minutes I wrote that out, and then May 1st I launched it. I didn't even have the full course like done, but I had enough for it to launch on May 5th. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like try to write this down. So anyway, that doesn't matter. The timeline doesn't matter. I worked on my course. I did artwork for it, and I got creative. I was doing crochet baskets. I was doing whatever it was that I felt inspired to do for those 2 weeks. And so now I just mentioned the Askfirmations, and there's a connection here that I'm excited to get that book so that we can talk more about that. But I also think that this question, or the question that I came up with on my own, not having known that it was here in this book or that there were Askfirmations out there, what do I want to do in this moment? Like I just getting present. And so I really think that affirmations can be not just for affirmations to affirm what you want, but I really think it's just connecting with yourself. And there's so much more here. I can't wait to dive into it. So anyway, I just really wanted to show you how, if you're feeling stuck and there's no movement, ask yourself, when you ask yourself, what should I do now or next, or what should I do in this moment? And then allow it to unfold, you will begin to see movement, but you really have to come to the present. You have to be present. And then one of the other things that he says is that, where did he say it? Because I like quoting. Um, so hmm, maybe it doesn't really matter. Maybe I'm not too um yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. I must have written it down somewhere else. But anyway, so sorry again for the squirrels. But so yeah, that's really just what I wanted to show up today and talk about and share a little bit about where I was and how I got to where I am today. And so again, if you are feeling stuck or there's no movement, ask yourself that question, whether it's Joseph Murphy's question or how I put it in my own terms, or put it in terms that make sense for you. What do I want to do right now? What feels good to go do right now? Because if there is that mind and body connection, like I said, I would have a thought, but my body would take me somewhere else. And then sometimes I would have a thought and that's where I would go. But I really just was being present. So I hope that this resonates with you and that you got some little nugget out of that. And I think I'm just going to end it there for today. So until the next time, go be an amazing human, sending you lots of love, light, and really big hugs. Mwah.